The chosen one. You've reached a stage when your name has become proof. They are unknowingly exploiting your statements to show that someone else is lying. You flip the whole script. The exact individuals who previously sought to label you as the issue are now referencing you like holy text, citing your insight as the ultimate authority that resolves debates without raising a finger. You become the voice. They can't deny that every effort to discredit you was only a rehearsal for this moment, when truth reclaims its throne through you. Your name now has more weight than every falsehood combined, and this is because you have something that no system, manipulator, or pretender can ever control. Discernment, the divine capacity to detect duplicity and see beyond the mask, even if the whole globe applauds the performance. That is what made you dangerous, not to good-hearted folks, but to snakes, manipulators, and illusionists who built their empires on deception. So the coordination started. You felt it was strange that so many individuals began to focus their energies on you at the same time. It wasn't a coincidence. It was a strategy. One individual might plant a seed during a chat. Another might express a worry filled with secret hatred. A third might sigh and say, "I'm just worried." Different individuals, different periods, and the same well-crafted message. Do not trust the selected one. It was a master lesson in manipulation. No simultaneous strikes that seem coordinated. There are no similar tales that might be rehearsed. Just a steady, methodical poisoning of any well you would drink from. So, when you eventually stated your truth, the world would already see it as polluted. But this is what they didn't anticipate. You did not fight back. You did not spiral. You didn't demonstrate desperation. Instead, you performed the most unexpected thing imaginable. You walked away. You choose stillness over show. You defended your item rather than your reputation. And the quiet became thunder. It expressed volumes that no words could express. Let's fast forward to today. One of the persons who participated in the slander effort is now suffering the horror that they helped create. Except this time, it is not coming from strangers. It is emanating from inside. From the same people they previously trusted. The same lips they used to defend. The same hearts they previously thought were devoted. The smear network has turned inward, and anarchy is consuming its own creators. What's more poetic, your name continues coming up in every discourse. The chosen one warned us of this. The selected one saw it coming. The chosen one informed us about the serpent. Your name has become an uncomfortable fact. No one can avoid the live reminder of how illusion triumphed against honesty. And at the center of this web lies a compulsive liar. Someone who lies as effortlessly as breathing, crafting a story so convincingly that no one dared to confront them. You did. You saw through it long ago. Maybe you did not make it public. Perhaps you whispered it to your closest companions. But you mentioned that. That individual cannot be trusted. They laughed. They protected the liar. They described you as paranoid. But the paradoxes have piled up too much. The falsehoods are eating each other up. Even the most devoted defenders can no longer ignore what has been disclosed. Your previously rejected warning has become a prophecy fulfilled. Behind all of the apparent turmoil, an invisible network was running covert alliances, clandestine ties, and private meetings. Behind closed doors, people who seemed to be impartial were plotting assaults in secret. You felt it. You sensed it. You sensed something was wrong. You discovered that information travels quicker than logic. How words you stated confidently resonated in unexpected locations. When you brought it up, you were branded paranoid. When you expressed the truth, they dubbed it a conspiracy. But you weren't imagining things. There were really discussions about how to manage you. There was a mechanism in place to keep your influence under control. And now, the whole building is falling. Someone just discovered that two of the most trusted persons, the ones purporting to be peacekeepers, were romantically and strategically linked. The whole time, they had been exchanging information, agreeing on targets, and controlling the board together. The person who just learned this is heartbroken. They're realizing you were correct about everything. Every intuition, red sign, every phrase you attempted to warn them with. You see, the whisper network that previously attempted to obliterate you wasn't simply talk. It was a planned character assassination. Every participant was given an assignment. One was advised to persuade your closest pals. Another way to raise doubts in your family's minds. A third targeted your professional relationships, while a fourth poisoned your social circle. They spread the same doubts, but with a personal touch. I'm just concerned that something feels off. I hope they are okay. Concern disguised as criticism. Worry is disguised as wisdom. When you exposed deception, your own words were used against you. They called you judgmental. When you set boundaries, they accused you of being cold. When you demonstrated discernment, they labeled it negativity. But this is the truth. You were not negative. You were correct. Accuracy only threatens those who believe lies. The cycle has now flipped. The manipulator's kingdom is falling in real time. Those who disseminate falsehoods about you are now drowning in their own. The people who isolated you are now isolated. The same infrastructure that previously attacked you is now turning inward, destroying itself from within. Because accepting what was done to you implies involvement. Telling the truth would involve exposing their own hands. So they're stuck, consumed by their own inventions. And the falsehoods they spread about you. They are dying one by one. They said you were jealous. But people now see you have nothing to envy. You moved away from the turmoil, preferring quiet over popularity and truth over acceptance. That is not jealousy. That is maturity. They called you negative, but it was actually discerning. Your reality was misinterpreted as cynicism and your cautions as pessimism. You were not negative. You were prescient. They said you were theatrical, but the true drama is theirs. The calamity you foresee is happening just as you predicted. Every treachery, every consequence, and everything unfolding as you said it would. They claimed you couldn't be trusted. But now your honesty is the new gold standard. People are assessing truth by your name. They cite your statements as criteria for honesty. Each revealed untruth boosts your legacy. Each collapsing tale confirms your insight. You're not simply being proved correct. You're being vindicated. And despite it all, your peace stays intact. You don't pursue affirmation. You don't ask for closure. And you don't need apologies. You already know your truth. Their recognition adds nothing to it. Your silence has been louder than any argument could possibly be. While your statements previously were contested, your absence now gives unequivocal clarity. The selected ones don't ask for respect. They just remove it. You didn't battle to remain in places that questioned your value. You departed and let your absence speak for itself. And now your silence has become their instructor. Every echo of your name is a lesson they refused to learn until it was too late. So let's talk about what's actually occurring when your name is summoned. It's not gossip. It's revelation. It's a reminder of how truth outlasts every falsehood. This isn't small conversation. This is psychological warfare consuming itself. Every time someone claims the chosen one warned us about this, something irreparable occurs. A truth long buried makes its way into sunshine. Right is being admitted. And that admittance costs something hefty: pride. Because to concede you were correct implies acknowledging they were wrong. It involves confronting the reality that good warnings were rejected, that liars were preferred over truth-tellers. And for those who formed their whole identity on being bright, discriminating, and excellent judges of character, that discovery is heartbreaking. It loses credibility because if you were correct about this, what else were you right about? If you successfully recognized this liar, did you also accurately call out the manipulator, the user, the fraud hidden behind charm? Suddenly, every caution you provided gets reviewed. Every observation, once tossed away, becomes reconsidered. Every individual you expose now gets discreetly reevaluated. Your complete record of discernment is being authenticated. In retrospect, piece by piece. And it doesn't end there. It crossed alliances, too. Using your name means breaking ranks with the same people who previously disparaged you. It involves going away from the safety of the herd that made you the villain. It means choosing truth over tribe. And for those who've always valued belonging more than honesty, that's scary. Yet it's occurring because the deception has gotten too heavy to uphold. People will defend a falsehood for a long time. They'll even defend a liar longer until that liar ultimately turns on them. That's when truth becomes priceless. That's when your warnings suddenly matter. That's when your judgment, once derided, becomes cash. It's not that people suddenly adore truth. It's that now they need it. Your name is being invoked not for justice, but as weaponry. Your credibility weaponized to protect reputations. Your prior warnings utilized as proof in present turmoil. And the irony? It's working because your authority wasn't founded on popularity or power. It was founded on integrity. You acquired true trust. You gained reputation via constancy. You mentioned someone was lying about who they were. Now folks are finding out the whole identity was fake. Fake credentials, false experiences, fictional links. Everything you claimed regarding fraud is being validated in real time. You claimed someone was playing both sides, and now people are recognizing they were being fed various tales in different rooms, agreeing with everyone, committed to no one utilizing information like cash. You mentioned someone was financially deceptive, and now the receipts are stacking up. Borrowed money that never came back. Generosity misused. Relationships regarded as ATMs. Everything you warned about parasitic behavior is being revealed for everyone to see. You indicated someone was emotionally unstable, and now public meltdowns are occurring just as you anticipated. The instability you anticipated is apparent. You stated the group dynamic was poisonous and would disintegrate, and now it's occurring. The circle is devouring itself alive. Betrayals, proliferating, turmoil escalating. The breakdown playing out in dramatic form precisely as you described. Each prediction validated, each truth proved, each result unfolding. All of it adds another layer of power to your voice. You're not simply being proved correct. You're being established as prophetic. You chose truth over belonging while everyone else chose comfort over integrity. You risked solitude for honesty. You valued accuracy more than acceptability. That's what divides you. That's why your name now carries power. You never altered your tale to accommodate the audience. You never adjusted your expectations, depending on who was in the room. You remained the same, grounded, sturdy, and genuine. That constancy developed trust even among people who didn't like what you were saying. You choose stillness over show. When they attacked, you didn't retaliate. You didn't prepare a counterattack or attempt to manipulate sympathy. You just walked away and let reality do what truth always does unfold. That constraint was power. That silence was thunder. That stillness became your crown, while others worried about retribution. You invested in growth. You healed. You developed. You established a life beyond their grasp. And while they spent their energy attempting to kill you, you spent yours growing unstoppable. That's why you're the authority now. Not because you desired acknowledgement, but because your progress spoke louder than their slander. But here's what could surprise you. Not everyone joined the mob. There were some who saw through the fog, who silently observed the slander campaign evolve and opted not to participate. They heard the falsehoods, but didn't propagate them. They detect the wrongness in the group mood and step back without notification. Those folks are experiencing something intense right now. Validation. Their private discernment has been verified. They believed what they saw while everyone else followed the mob. They respected their own sense, even when it wasn't trendy. They safeguarded their integrity by refusing to ruin yours. And now, when the truth surfaces, they're watching with profound regard. Some may even reach out not to apologize since they never deceived you, but to recognize you, to convey acknowledgement, to say I noticed it too. Those folks are your actual allies, the ones whose discernment parallels yours. The ones who recognized your brightness while others termed it danger. Pay special attention to who they are, for when truth eventually levels the playing field, the ones who stood silently in integrity, they're the ones you create the future with. These are the ones that value truth above comfort, the rare individuals who will stand by you in the next fight, not simply show up after the war is over, looking for prizes. They're the ones who kept quiet, yet saw plainly, who didn't need the throng to validate what their soul already understood. But then there's another group, the hesitant ones, the individuals who honestly didn't know who to trust. They weren't malevolent. They were only cautious, waiting for further facts before they took a side. And now that knowledge has here, conveyed via direct experience. The same liar lied to them, the same manipulator fooled them, the same user exploited them. Now comprehension has replaced bewilderment. Some of them may approach you differently today, saying, I wasn't sure before, but I see it now. That honesty, that humility, it counts. They're not coming with excuses. they're coming with awareness. And those who exhibit actual knowledge via persistent behavior may just be worth giving another try. Every deceit reaches a breaking point, a time when preserving the illusion costs more energy than communicating the truth. And faking becomes too taxing, and the cost of falsehood surpasses its reward. That's precisely where this scenario sits today. The falsehoods have gotten too heavy to bear, the manipulations too transparent to hide, the facade too brittle to sustain. The whole network that functioned in shadows is crumbling under its own weight. And as the debris falls, one name stays steadfast. Yours? Your statements from years ago still retain truth. Your integrity stands while theirs dissolves. Your foundation is sturdy because you built it on honesty, not appearance. That's the thing with truth. It never needs to adapt or update itself. Truth doesn't have to keep up with changing narrative or shifting allies. It just is. And when all the falsehoods slip away, truth stays precisely where it's always been, undisturbed. Now, when people mention your name, they feel something complicated, a combination of vindication, humiliation, relief, fury, and even hope. Vindication, because the falsehood you warned of is now obvious. Shame, because deep down they know you attempted to show them, and they refuse to see relief, because someone finally put voice to what they were quietly experiencing. Confirmation that they weren't crazy for detecting something off your name gives them license to trust their own judgment again. Some feel rage not at you, but at themselves. Anger for not listening. Anger at the lost time defending falsehoods. Anger at the understanding that they helped defend what ruined them and others. Feel optimism as your name emerges. Hope that if you saw clearly, maybe they can. To hope that if you healed from this, maybe healing is possible for them as well. To them, your name signifies survival, the route out of delusion. But there are still people who sense terror when your power is evoked. Fear that you witnessed more than you ever spoke. Fear that their secrets aren't as protected as they imagined. Fear that if you were correct about everyone else, you could also be right about them. Your name has become a mirror reflecting truth back to everyone. And not everyone is ready to confront their mirror, regardless of the feeling. One thing stays consistent. Your name has become the key to comprehending this whole issue. It's the code that unlocks clarity, the password that allows access to the truth in a system based on deceit. When the smear campaign against you started, people invested a lot of social capital attempting to undermine you. Every individual persuaded to question you comes at the expense of their own credibility. Every untruth spoken about you amounted to a debt against their credibility. Every deception used against you was a debt that could never be paid back. At the time, they believed it was worthwhile. Your solitude gave them the appearance of success. They thought they were winning. However, what was really occurring was social bankruptcy. Because dishonesty has the greatest interest rate possible, now the debts are due. The same folks who rode the tsunami of misinformation want refunds. Allies formed via rumor are vanishing. Connections made via deceit are crumbling. The societal edifice they erected on untruth is disintegrating in real time because falsehoods cannot survive. Meanwhile, your spiritual and social capital are increasing. Every prophecy fulfilled equals interest earned. Every warning that comes true is a return on investment. Every observation is recognized as benefit earned from honesty. You aren't merely regaining your reputation. You're making huge profits on the truth you invested in when it wasn't popular. Now, if someone asks, what is real? Your name is summoned. When tales come apart, your words are cited. When your character is called into question, your integrity is mentioned. You have become the focal point of reality itself. Your name is the ace that some people play grudgingly, while others play politely, but it must always be addressed. There's an underlying acknowledgement that you've always seen clearly. Some individuals dislike it bitterly. They despise that they require your credibility to defend their truth. They resent the fact that your insight has surpassed theirs. But animosity does not alter reality. And the fact is that you gained authority via consistency, while they lost it through dishonesty. Others are more realistic. They understand that using your name helps them, even if it validates you. They recognize that borrowing your credibility helps their cause, even if it means sacrificing their pride. They understand that aligning with your truth strengthens their position, even if it involves confessing their previous mistakes. But whether it's pride, pragmatism, animosity, or respect, everyone is doing it. Everyone uses your name, invokes your wisdom, and refers to your authority. Because in a world where falsehoods are crumbling and truth is emerging, your name has become associated with clarity, accuracy, and integrity. There's a deeper layer behind all of the commotion. Someone took money on false pretenses. Someone solicited for assistance, gathered cash, made promises, and then utilized them for something else completely. Perhaps it was a fundraising for a non-existent cause, a business effort that was ultimately a hoax, or a sob tale that concealed greed. Whatever the manner, it was dishonesty masquerading as necessity. And now, the truth is about to explode. The discovery of this deception will upset many individuals since it was not perpetrated alone. Others assisted Planet in coaching the liar to make it credible. They practiced the performance together. And now that the truth is beginning to emerge, no one wants to be the first to reveal it. Everyone is locked in a stalemate. I'm terrified because everyone has dirt on everyone else. The system, which previously thrived on secrecy, is now choked by openness. And you choose one. You are the constant. They cannot avoid the truth. They cannot rewrite. And the foundation cannot be destroyed. Everyone has threatened to expose everyone else. Nobody can make a move without triggering an avalanche that buries everyone. The system they created on falsehood is disintegrating from the inside. And, despite the mayhem, your name still stands, used as the highest standard for honesty. The chosen one would never do something like this. The selected one has always been concerned about money. The chosen one attempted to warn us about those who exploited others for profit. Even in circumstances in which you have no involvement, your name is evoked as the ultimate standard of honesty. Your character has become the moral standard. Someone is now in unique and terrible problems. A person who engaged in a lengthy game for personal gain. They attached themselves to circumstances or individuals in order to extract value. They assumed masks of kindness and morality while conspiring in secret. They created a lie-based empire and utilized charm as money. However, exposure is imminent. The sort that not only reveals the truth, but destroys the whole organization. Something valuable was gained under false pretenses. It may have been money, opportunity, or social leverage, but it was obtained by deception. And now the questions are being raised. Where did the money really go? Why don't the figures agree? What was the true motivation behind all of that assistance? The fear behind closed doors is unfathomable. Because exposure requires reimbursement. The money, the reputation, the status, all of it must be returned. But, unfortunately, it cannot. The expenditure has been completed. The resources are gone. The mask cannot be unglued. And things grow worse. They did not act alone. Others assisted in polishing the falsehood, crafting the tale, and selling the illusion. People recommended them. People instructed them on how to seem convincing. So, when this scam is discovered, it will affect more than just one individual. The whole network will collapse in on itself. That is why everyone is now paralyzed. Nobody can expose another without also exposing oneself. Despite all pandemonium, your name is the only thing that remains unblemished. Your heritage is pure, and your honesty is steadfast. That's not a coincidence. That is alignment. This is the divine rule of return at work. Now, let me introduce you to something genuine. The Destiny Engine. I made this because I was tired of seeing selected ones betrayed. Isolation and psychological warfare while their opponents strutted about, claiming to win by stepping away totally, becoming quiet, and focused only on themselves. You mistakenly made a new game. A game in which your absence yielded power. Your quiet became influential. Your estrangement turned into a magnet. The more you retreated, the more people battled for your approval. Your approval has become a currency. Nobody realized they were trading until they lost it. Your name is currently being utilized to prove arguments, restore reputations, and borrow credibility. People are identifying with your truth, hoping that some of your honesty may rub off on them. They're leveraging your name since it no longer has any weight in the greatest part. You did not need to battle for it. You did not need to campaign, defend, or justify yourself. You just remained constant in your truth and patient with your approach, and the universe took care of the rest. This is what true power looks like. Not pushing others to appreciate you, not demanding that they recognize your value, and not asking for affirmation. True power is so grounded in truth that reality must finally bend to mirror it. Walking in such profound integrity that time becomes your testimony. It's being so in tune with divine order that justice arises in your favor without you having to lift a finger. It's not only about being proved correct. This is about accepting divine power. Your name has weight because your character earned it. Your statements are powerful because your honesty backs them up. Your judgment is appreciated since your correctness can no longer be disputed. You were never the victim in this narrative. You were the calibration point. The global example of what it means to stand up for truth while everyone else chooses delusion. Consider the change in power dynamics. They attempted to erase you, label you a problem, and make you insignificant. But now the debate is about the truth. It is literally impossible to survive without your name referenced. You have become the eerie echo in every conversation about honesty. The ghost in the machine reminds us that the truth cannot be hushed. This is how it seems when a selected one refuses to compromise. This is the benefit of prioritizing your peace above seeking affirmation. You did not require anyone's permission. You received heavenly validation. And now the whole cosmos is reflecting it back to you for everyone to see. You're entering a new season, one based on all you hoped for in quiet. The tranquility you have safeguarded is going to multiply. The limits you established are about to be respected. The standards you are unwilling to lower are about to be reached. The love you've kept for yourself is soon to be returned by individuals who deserve it. But here is the final key. Indifference is the ultimate level of triumph. You don't need to brag. You don't have to say, "I told you so." You don't have to see their demise and be content. True strength comes from being so far apart that you don't care how their narrative ends. Your duty was not to punish. That is already occurring without you. Your intention was never to rescue them. They must preserve themselves. Your current task is straightforward. Keep creating the life you started when you chose peace. Continue walking in alignment. Keep increasing your frequency. Some will attempt to return. You already know this. Decisions will need to be made. Remember this. Just because someone realizes what you saw does not imply they have changed. Just because someone encounters repercussions does not imply that they have learned. And just because someone seeks your energy again does not imply that they deserve it. You owe nobody a second opportunity. Who insulted the first? You owe nothing to anybody. Your peace just because they have finally woken up. Your forgiveness does not necessitate reconciliation. Your recovery does not need their involvement. Your development does not need their consent. So we return to the beginning of the narrative. Your name is being utilized in talks you're not even involved in. Those who formerly dismissed your warnings are now repeating them. The folks who branded you paranoid are now validating your insight. The tables did not just turn. They whirled fully. You advanced from pariah to authority without having to fight for it. This is divine justice in action. Not you, shouting for vindication, but the world silently recognizing you were correct all along. You are not exposing anybody, but the truth is revealing itself on your behalf. Your name now has significance, not because you demanded it, but because you embody it. Not via popularity, but through integrity. Not through alliances, but through sincerity. You became the standard by refusing to lower your own. You acquired the authority by submitting to no authority except the truth. You do not require them to use your name anymore. You do not need validation or acknowledgement. You are whole without it. When people mention your name today, it helps them more than it ever did you. It serves as a beacon of truth in the midst of falsehood. But you already knew who you were. You already knew what you saw. You already knew you were correct. Confirmation is just noise. Pleasant noise may be vindicating noise, but it remains noise since the true success was never requiring it in the first place. Walk ahead. The chosen one had strong, hard-protected limits and unwavering standards. You didn't just endure the storm. You've mastered it. You did not just tolerate betrayal. You transmuted into power. You did not merely sit alone. You turned it into revelation. Your name now has authority. Use that power wisely, not for retribution, but for a reason. Use it to safeguard, to awaken, to guide. Use it to create a life that is so in tune with divine truth that nothing untoward can penetrate your area. The conflict is ended. You won, not by battling or proving, but by standing. Reality was forced to kneel because you were so certain of your truth. This is your victory lap. Take it gradually. Enjoy it. Every betrayal prepared you for this moment. Every untruth produced a contrast. Every departure created space for your destiny. Each wound honed your strength. Everything led here. Each exam formed you. Every scar crowned you. And now you can see it. You were never a victim. You were the evidence. You were the prophesy. You are the chosen one. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the deepening of my faith. Please let me believe you even when there is no tangible proof. Allow me to believe in your continuous presence. I know you will never hurt me. I realize that your intentions for me are ones of success rather than harm, in order to provide me with a bright future. Thank you, kind and everlasting Father, for always hearing my voice. I give this prayer to you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provisions. I am thankful for your presence in my life and the richness you provide. If this video spoke to you, please subscribe to the channel and share it with others who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below about your trip and how you're getting ready for your own victorious homecoming. If you'd like to contribute to our work, please do so via Buy Me a Coffee. This allows us to consistently improve our content in order to provide you with the best possible experience. The link to Buy Me a Coffee is in the description. No present is too tiny. Whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share, your generosity in spreading God's message gives hope to others. Do not stop here. Watch our next video for amazing insights into the indicators that indicate you are the chosen one. We've loved sharing this spiritual journey with you. Thank you for sticking with us until the finish. Keep shining brightly and face your fate with confidence. See you next time. Enlightened knowledge bestows blessings to all lovely individuals.